Welcome to the second episode of Who's Hot, where we review artists and songwriters that are taking the music industry by storm. Let's jump right into this episode. I hope you're all comfortable and ready for episode 2. Today we talk about the artist VKN Zach. VKN Zach has over 1,000 followers on Instagram and over 700 subscribers on YouTube. He just dropped a new song, Life Gazing, with Snackery, and has one other song in his album. Zach is a verified artist, and you can find his music and his 2 songs on YouTube, Spotify, and Pandora. I had a chance to talk with him today about how he got into music, and I'm going to reference back to the episode yesterday with Livingston, episode 1, season 1, about how these songwriters and singers have the same pattern, how they all grew up in a bad area. Zach said he had no one to look up to at the time, and he was in the wrong state of mind. Let's go ahead and join in and talk to him a little bit about how he makes music. And welcome back. I'm with VK and Zach. How you doing, Zach?
I am doing wonderful, man. How are you doing?
Good. We reviewed in this episode a couple of your songs, and I got a couple questions for you, okay?
Of course.
How long does it take to produce your music, as in one of your songs?
Well, as an artist, I strive to make sure my sound is very uplifting and make sure that I'm comfortable with how I sound. So I take as much time as I possibly can to make it sound almost perfect, because nothing is perfect. But within a time limit, I would say an hour or two. And honestly, as a producer, I should be taking way longer than that. But I feel like I'm very comfortable with the programs I use. So it's very easy for me to, get that right sound into everything.
Nice. A lot of time goes into those music, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Do you think you'll carry on doing music for your life, or do you want to do something different?
Music has always been a hobby for me. I feel like even if I do strive on a different career, if I do choose a different path, I'm always going to have music in my life. I'm always going to keep doing this because this is what filled the void that was in my life for so long. It's always going to be a part of me. It is something that I do want to get professional in. It's something that I do want to uplift my experience and make sure that I get everything better. So music is, like I said, it's always going to be part of my life. It's always going to be something I do on my free time. Now that I have an audience that is growing every day, I really want to keep pushing out music. I still want to produce. I still want to make things to motivate other people to do the same thing, which is strive on a career path, follow their dreams, and make sure everything in life is positive.
I saw that too. I listened to a couple of your songs, and you don't just do beats like most artists. You do a little vocal in that, don't you?
Yes, I sure do.
Okay, one more question. A lot of questions that I ask artists are, who do you look up to?
That's a very difficult question. I have a few artists in mind that I admire, that I listen to every day to, get me past my depression and my darkness. Livingston, for one. Livingston is an amazing artist. My brother had just passed away recently, and I found this song on YouTube, and surprisingly, like, is the first 2 minutes of his songs, I automatically felt the magic. Like, I started getting into a better mood, and there were so many things that I tried to do to get me out of that darkness, and it was just like Livingston just popped up, and it was like the best moment in my life at that time. So Livingston, I look up to Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD has always been one of my favorite dudes. He rest in peace. God bless his soul. He's a phenomenal artist. He's phenomenal. He pushes out different flows, different techniques that has never been done before. And he's an amazing artist. And I'm happy to see that he's still out there. His music is still out there, still getting viewed because his fans love him to death. Another artist that I admire would probably be, let's see. Dang, there's so many great artists out there, but I have to limit it down.
I understand. Well, I had a chance to talk to you earlier about how you grew up into music and how you got into it. And a lot of these artists, a big pattern is not growing up in good places or having the wrong state of mind. And I remember talking about that too. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Of course. So I grew up in a very bad neighborhood. A neighborhood there were shootings every day. There was police cars patrolling because the environment was so bad. I've seen people die in front of my eyes. Like, it was just a very, very dark place to live. So growing up, a lot of my family members were so depressed and so filled with emotions that they eventually, unfortunately, turned to doing drugs and started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And a lot of them either, passed away or got locked up in jail or prison or whatever the scenario is. And I started to see myself falling into that category. I started to see myself falling into that lifestyle. And I wasn't as strong. My mind state wasn't as strong back then for me to be like, hey, this is what you shouldn't be doing. You should be striving, because everyone kept telling me, you're a smart kid. You're a smart kid. You need to do something better with your life. And me being in this environment, hanging out with the wrong crowd, influence is a really big thing. Influence, you can want to do good, but if you hang around with the wrong crowd, they're going to push you to do the wrong things. And eventually I turned to drugs as well because I was so depressed. My family members were passing away. My friends were giving up on me. I was just always in a dark place. My mom was doing drugs, trying to take care of us. I had to, at 10, 11 years old, go out and steal from stores just to feed my younger sister and I, because my mom would leave us and, go do whatever she wanted to do. And just, it wasn't that she didn't care about us, because I know she loves us to death. It's more per se, like, again, influence. She was hanging with the wrong crowd. They pushed her to do bad things she shouldn't have been doing. So I at a young age, I had to, bring out that older brother. I had to bring out that maturity and take care of the things I had to do. Not just myself. I had to take care of my younger sister. I had to take care of the house, make sure everybody's safe. So I feel like at a young age, I was pushed into adult things. And I think that's why my mindset is so strong to this point in time, because I had to do things at a young age that a kid shouldn't have been doing,
Yeah. Well, I really think your story is inspiring. Thank you for coming on today. As always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Go check out Zach on YouTube at VKN Zach and his new release, Life Gazing, featuring Snackery. Thank you, Zach, for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
Yep, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Who's Hot.